Hello everybody. In this video we'll be discussing prove that root 5 is an irrational number. This is what the question will be discussing in this video, and as you all know this question is compulsory. Either they may ask you root 5 value, or else they may ask you root 3, or else they may ask you 3 plus root 5 to prove it is a irrational number. The concept remains the same. Okay, for root 5, for root 3, everything remains the same. Little bit changes in this third question, that is 3 plus root 5. Remember, we have to solve it in different way. One or two step we have to change, that's all, and nothing else. Okay, so let us go with the solution of this problem. What is that question? Root 5 is irrational. What they asking? ಏನು ಕೇಳಕತ್ತಾರ? Root 5 ನೇನು prove ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? It is an irrational number. We know it is irrational, but they are saying us to prove. Okay, so how to prove it? Let us see. Let us assume root 5 is a rational number. What it is? Rational number. Okay, we are assuming just it is a what? Rational number. If it is a rational number, you know it very well, we can write it in the form of p by q. That is root 5 is equal to p by q. Okay, if any number we are calling it as a rational, that means that number can be written in the form of p by q. That's why we are calling that number as what? Rational number. Okay, now we call it as a rational number. So what the condition we have to give it? Where P and Q are co-prime. P and Q are what? Co-prime numbers. Okay. So P and Q are co-prime. Co-prime is nothing but this, both P and Q have only one factor, that is what? Their HCF is what? 1. Okay, what is the HCF? Their HCF will be only 1. Those number will be called as what? Co-prime numbers. Now we got it, root 5 is equal to what? P by Q. Remember, this problem is compulsory. Whether it may be root 2, root 3, root 5, the steps remain the same, just the question changes. That's all. The values in the place of root 5 will be writing root 3, rest all remains same. Remember. So memorize it whatever you do it, but this problem is sure shot will be repeating in your board exam for 3 marks. Remember. Okay. Next, what I gonna do? Squaring on both sides. Squaring on both sides. Squaring on both sides. Okay, if I square it on both sides, so root 5 whole square is equal to p by q whole square. We can write it. Okay, let us remove the square. So square and root cancel. So what we gonna get it? Phi is equal to p square by q square. Okay. So here we gonna cross. So we can say that q square is equal to p square by 4. Okay. So what we can say, p square is divisible by 5. Divisible by 5. Why I'm saying that way? Because we got it a q square. When we are getting q square, when this p square divided by 5 and this p square is divided by 5, that time we get any integer, right? That is what we are getting q square. Okay, that's why I'm writing p square is divisible by 5. So even we can say that p is also divisible by 5. Divisible by what? Divisible by 5. Obviously, what is that? If 5 is divided by 5, we're gonna get it as what? 1. The square of 5 is how much? 25. 25 is divided by 5. Denominator we have to take it same. Okay. So 25 का square कितना है? 25. 25 by 5 is also divisible by 5. That's why I can see the square value is also divisible by 5. The non-square value is also divisible by 5. Therefore, here we wrote the statement. What we wrote it, p square is divisible by 5, p is also divisible by 5. By that we will not be able to say root 5 is what irrational number. We have to involve it. We have to move forward to include one more step. What is that? The same thing. Here we have to solve one more step. What is that? As you got it, p is also divisible by 5. That means I'll get the p value when I multiply 5 by any integer. Any integer. That means that integer I am considering as what? K. Okay, that means p is equal to I can multiply by 1, I can multiply by 2, whatever. That those values we are considering it as what? K. That means when I multiply by that integer by 5, I'll get p value. Correct? So that's why I wrote p is equal to 5k. In the first step, what we considered root 5 is equal to p by q. Correct? The same thing we are going to substitute over here in the place of p. What we're gonna do? We're gonna substitute p value. What we got that p value 5k we got divided by q. Square on both side. If we're gonna square it on both side, what we're gonna get? Same thing, same procedure, nothing else. Same thing. So root 5 whole square is equal to 5k by q whole square. Okay, square and root get cancelled. So what will be remaining? 5 is equal to 25k square by q square. I hope you're getting the solution. I'm explaining in deeper way. That's why taking a lot of time, but it is very simple. The as you can see, the steps are very similar, very similar one. Okay, so here what we're gonna do? We're gonna cross. So 5q square, okay, divided by 25 is equal to k square. So further here I gonna write down as what? K square is equal to q square by 5. Why? 5 ones are 5 fives are correct. So here also we can say what we can say, q square is divisible by 5. Divisible by 5. It is divisible, that's why we are getting k value, right? Okay, if the square value is divisible by 5, then its normal value, non-square value will also be divisible by 5. Divisible by 5. Okay, if it is divisible by 5, then what we can say? Can you all say what we can say? Yes, we can say that we can conclude that we can conclude that, as you know, this is in the form of p by q, but wait, we know already what we know. We know that root 5 is a irrational number. We know that already. We know that root 5 is what? Irrational number. We know it already that. Okay, and here what we got it over here. So root 5 is equal to, we are getting 5k by q, or else you can go with the first step. This is what? Rational number, and this is irrational number. We cannot say irrational number is equal to rational number. Can we say? No, we can't say. Okay, we can't say. Therefore, okay, whatever we assumed, that assumption is wrong. That assumption is wrong. Remember, that assumption is wrong. Okay, so therefore we can say that we can conclude that phi is a common factor common factor of both p and q, but but this contradicts our assumption our assumption that p and q or co-prime. Hence, root phi is a irrational number. Okay, that's it. These are the similar steps you have to write down. You just refer any reader, any book, any videos. Okay, the steps, the solution will be of the same kind. Remember, this all the things you have to remember. It is one of the theorem. You had to write it the same way to get it 3 marks in a board exam. Remember, just go through it. Okay, and just if you're feeling any doubtful, just comment your doubt. Again, thank you all for watching it.